Okay. All right, the Hollywood writers' strike has been dragging on for 4 months, but the dam might be breaking. You want proof? Bill Maher announced on X that his HBO show will return next weekend without his writers. He tweeted this out on X. Real Time is coming back. Unfortunately, sans writers or writing. It's been 5 months, and it's time to bring back the people to work. The writers have important issues that I sympathize with, and they are addressing to their satisfaction. But they are not the only people with issues, problems, and concerns. I love my writers. I am one of them, but I'm not prepared to lose an entire year and see so many below-the-line people suffer so much. This comes after the legendary late-night host criticized aspects of the strike on his podcast.
What I find objectionable about the philosophy of the strike, it seems to be they have really morphed a long way from 2007 strike, where they kind of believe that you're owed a living as a writer, and you're not. This is show business. This is a make-or-miss league.
Wow. So does this signal a turning point for television, for movies? Drew Barrymore came back as well. The great Piers Morgan is here. He wants me to call him the great Piers Morgan.
I do.
I'm the only one, yes. Piers Morgan Uncensored is a big hit. You have these killer interview series, which is fantastic, streaming on Fox Nation. You like Bill Maher. I've been so impressed with him over the last 2 years, during the Trump year into this one. Is this the dam breaking? Is he making the right move?
I think he's a voice of common sense about a number of things, not least the way the left is now so nuts that he is, standing out against them, which is almost unprecedented. So I think, again, he's taking a position, Bill Maher, saying, look, we've got to get on with stuff here. We've got to get on with life. We've come out of a pandemic, ruinous for many industries for several years, and now, again, everything paralyzed. Yes, it's important that the writers and actors get what they want, but there are many, many other people that make television shows and movies, and it's those people that Bill Maher's concerned about. Why should they also be left without any work for months, maybe years on end?
It's 4 months. Barry Diller, about a month ago, said if they don't get something going by September, October, you could destroy the movie industry. We already stopped going to theaters. We already stopped going off network television. We're already trying to get used to how streaming fits in, and do we really want to pay these fees? And now you're telling me you have nothing new to offer?
I mean, look, they have legitimate concerns, particularly, for example, about AI and the threat to the industry and to actors and to writers. That's obvious. It's a threat to all of us. It's a threat to me and you. There could be, God forbid, an AI Brian Kilmeade.
Right, they're working on it now.
Which would be the only robot in history that worked not as hard as the human version.
Thank you.
But I do think Bill's onto something here which is important, which is that I think the overall picture about the industry, go back the last 5 years, look what it's been through. Look how hard it's been for so many people.
Absolutely.
And now again, and it's showing no sign of ending. If there was any light at the end of the tunnel, I'm sure Bill would hang on a bit. But he's like, come on, we have got to get on with things. I hope people listen to him and don't do what will come naturally, which is start screaming scab, 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 and try and demonize him, when actually I think he's a voice for common sense saying we have got to get on with stuff.
And we're not taking sides. I'm sure both have their great points, but they got to get something done, hammer it out. Okay, I thought about you. Because
only today, or?
Every day. And it's a little bit of a problem. I'm seeing a therapist. Dr. Drew, I only see television therapists. But real quick, this administration gets the most favorable press I've ever seen. So because there's an impeachment inquiry, the White House is offended. In fact, they're giving marching orders. Listen to a piece of, read with me, a piece of this promo. Just move your lips. I'll read out loud. What they've asked the media to do. It's time for the media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. As Republicans choose to move forward with impeachment, it is the responsibility of independent press to treat their claims with the appropriate scrutiny. Covering impeachment as a process is a disservice to the American public. He is telling the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, how to go after Republicans.
Well, by the way, what is this independent press he's talking about?
I have no idea.
There haven't been any independence coming from them for a very long time. I've followed the Trump years. I knew Trump very, very well before he ran for president. And I saw the way that the very liberal skewed mainstream press treated the Trump years. There was nothing impartial about it, nothing independent about it. And you can bet your life that if this was Trump that was being impeached for this kind of thing, they would all be cheering it on. So it's total hypocrisy, complete double standards, and they should be actually getting on with the more important job, which is being honest with the American people about exactly what President Biden and his son have been up to with Ukraine and corruption. Because at the moment, this ridiculous wall of silence, we did nothing, the president knew nothing, is untenable.
Right. And of course, if we knew this in 2020, we might have had a different result with the election.
No question.
And I think that Donald Trump still likes you. It'll just take a little bit more to get you back to Mar-a-Lago.
We've had the odd spat, but we'll be back.
Absolutely. So another one of the stories that you broke, not only sitting down with Cristiano Ronaldo as most critical time right after the World Cup, but also after the Women's World Cup went to Spain. Unbelievable job. But the story was the president of Spanish soccer kissing the player on the lips after winning. Tell me how Luis Rubiales reached out to you.
Yeah, he apparently told his people, listen, if Morgan calls, I'll do the interview, which I found quite funny.
Piers Morgan.
Yeah, I don't mind being called Morgan, because he'd like the Cristiano Ronaldo one. He was being bombarded with interview requests, and he wanted to have his story heard. Now, it's actually quite a complicated story. It's not as simple as just a kiss. It's, did she give consent? Originally, she said, I'm not bothered, it doesn't matter. She was seen on the team coach after the win, after the kiss, celebrating, laughing about the kiss, treating it all very lightly. But as the week went on after the victory, and it was completely overshadowed, Spain's victory, by this kiss, then Jenny Hermoso, who's the female player, the captain of Spain, she decided that actually she did feel very offended, and then went further and said this might be a criminal offence and has helped with the prosecution for sexual assault, which I think is an overreach.
Here's a piece of your interview right now.
Do you accept the argument that your behaviour was macho?
No.
And you don't?
No. My behavior was inappropriate, but no sexual content. About the men team, did you do the same? You asked me before. What I answer you?
You said you did?
Yes, I did when I was player. I kissed, no 0.2 of seconds, okay? More.
I mean, you kiss me on the lips every time I see you. I don't take that as any kind of sexual motivation.
But he said he kissed his male players, his teammates.
Which apparently he used to do. I mean, you know, a lot of Spanish people, you probably know them yourself, they can be very tactile. Yeah. They like to hug and kiss. Now, he said...
Unlike the Irish, by the way.
Well, I'm Irish, and I'm certainly not kissing you.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's an interesting point. And he says, look, I just got carried away. I tried to push him to say, look, just say sorry. Because you know why, Brian? I don't know about you, but in married life, for example, sometimes the husband may think, I've done nothing wrong. But if his wife feels he has, the easiest way to go...
It's in your interest.
...is just to get in there and say, I'm sorry. Even if you don't mean it, even if you don't think you did anything wrong, he should have done that.
Life advice from Morgan.
Yeah,
I see your next book.
And when you're ready for your big interview about the real Brian Kilmeade, just ring and say, I want Morgan.
You got it. Yeah, I would never sit down with you. It'll be the unauthorized interview, the ambush interview. But listen, you can get that interview and so much more with Piers Morgan. And also this series, The Killer Interview. How many killers did you interview?
8 different killers.
Wow.
Some of them some of the most infamous serial killers in America. They're fascinating. They're all self-contained. They're all on Fox Nation. And tomorrow night, Sunday night at 10 o'clock on Fox News, one of them is being shown on there. And it's a great, extraordinary story about a guy who basically every time he insured somebody or something bad happened to that person or entity, whether it was his ex-wife, whether it was his son, whether it was his horses, his cars. If he insured it, they died or they went up in flames.
You know what it's like to be rapped? Because I'm getting that over and over again.
Oh, I don't actually. No. Most people, when I get talking, they say, carry on.
I know. No, he's Piers Morgan. He raps when he wants. Thanks, Piers. Thanks so much. Congratulations on all this.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.